Hello there and welcome to a big, busy day of Breakfast All Day. The three of us are here, Christy, Alonso, and Matt. Hello.
Hello.
Aloha.
We've got a full day of reviews and things to talk about, including we're going to take an early look at Shazam, which does not come out until next week, but it's really good, so we're going to talk about it. But we have to begin with some news and with some sad news, and that is the death of the legendary French filmmaker Agnès Varda. She was 90.
Yes.
Lived an incredible life for her 90 years.
She was, a key figure of the French New Wave, directed the film Cléo from 5 to 7, which was, one of the major works of that period, and really the main woman to come out of the French New Wave. I mean, we still are talking about the fact that there aren't enough female directors and the difficulty they have. So you can imagine she was getting started in the late 50s, early 60s. Mm-hmm. So she really, blazed a lot of trails for filmmakers everywhere, France and around the world. She married a New Wave giant, Jacques Demy. And they actually kind of had a Hollywood period because he came over to make Model Shop for Columbia, and she made several films here as well. And they always kept a house in Los Angeles, so they kind of, were very much both French-based but also LA-based as well. And then in her later years, she became a great champion of preserving Demy's films and making sure that they were preserved and remastered. So, like, if you own that Criterion Jacques Demy box set, which you should, you have Agnès Varda to thank for making sure that those movies were, digitized and all this stuff that kind of kept them from falling away. She also became this really extraordinary documentarian. Films like The Gleaners and I and The Beaches of Agnès and Faces Places a couple years ago. And what I found so inspiring about her is that here's a woman in her 80s who is not only still active and working, but embracing new technology. Like, she loved the tiny, digital cameras, and, she was not afraid of any of it, and she didn't look down on any of it.
She was on Instagram.
Yeah, totally. she was very plugged into what was happening, and she had this insatiable curiosity about people, and she was always sort of just like open to meeting people. And like, I mean, Twitter today is like every film critic posting their pictures with Agnès Varda because at some point you either interviewed her or you met her, and she was just like lovely and everything you wanted her to be. And her movies reflect that as well. And she was the first female first female director to win an honorary Oscar a couple of years ago. I was hoping that same year she was also going to win for Faces Places, which was my favorite movie that year. She lost. They lost the Doc award to Icarus, but yeah, she's extraordinary. Her son Mathieu Demy is an actor, and I think their daughter, I want to say her name is Rosalie, is also involved in the film industry. But Agnès Varda is a legend, and go back and start looking at her movies, the old narrative films like Cléo from 5 to 7 and Vagabond and One Sings the Other Doesn't, and then really check out the docs from the last couple decades because they're all great. She had a piece at Berlin this year, so even with staring death in the face, she was still making movies, and so she's an inspiration to us all.
Definitely, and in this past, I guess it was 2 award seasons ago, where she and JR were everywhere with Faces Places. There was just this like pure, radiant kind of joy for every new experience, and at a time in your life where it would be easy to be cynical and easy to be jaded and just tired in general. She was like a kid, and at the Spirit Awards we saw her a couple of years ago, and she was like the rock star at the Spirit Awards.
Well, and somebody asked her there, right, what's your advice for young filmmakers? And it was basically, if you don't feel like you must make films, then stay home. Right, like it's that very quickly says that artists create because they have to create. Yeah, right. Which I always thought was a great quote from her.
That's what I tell people about being a film critic. If you can do anything else, do anything else. She was amazing, and she wasn't feeling well enough to come to the LA Film Critics Dinner that year, but JR FaceTimed her with the crowd, and she like spoke from her home in France, and I'm a great admirer, and I think she leaves behind an extraordinary legacy of film, but also her preservation work and everything else. And so let's pour one out to Agnès Varda. Pour out some Chablis for Agnès Varda.
Oh, she's so cute. So that is the sad news that we have to share with you today. But then Matt also has some kind of exciting news to share. So Matt, take it away.
So yesterday we announced that Grae Drake, who I previously worked with at Rotten Tomatoes, is the new face of Moviefone. She is Ms. Moviefone.
That is so exciting.
I'm very excited.
So is she going to be the voice that you call on the phone? That's like,
so,
if you know the name of the movie you'd like to see.
So when we reactivate the phone number, yes, she will be.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
so it's not just like a figurehead position. She's actually going to do the work.
Now I'm jealous.
Yeah, so she'll be doing that. Is it going to be calling up and using the robotic system? Probably not. But will there be some fun thing happening if you call the number? Yes.
Well, I love that she's doing she's going to be doing interviews and interaction with folks, because she is a genius at that. Like one of the most banal things in our modern world is the celebrity interview at a press junket. I mean, you've seen a million of them. They're in a hotel room. They got the poster behind them. They've answered the same question 10,000 times. It's super boring.
Right. There's a good view of that in
BoJack Horseman.
Well, in Notting Hill. Right.
Oh,
Like
yes,
Notting Hill has
exactly.
that great thing where you get a sense of, because you feel it from you don't think about this, but from the talent standpoint, they're sitting in that same room and they cycle all these people through who are all asking the same questions.
Yes.
Right. Or mostly the same questions. And not only that, in this day and age, they've all been coached to stay on message, real specifically staying on message. And one of the reasons, amongst the things that's great about Grae, she'll walk into one of those rooms and like completely throw everybody off the script and do something completely different effortlessly.
She, I think single-handedly figured out a way, like, how do I take this thing that we're all sick of, but we all have to do, and make it exciting? And so, I mean, there was the legendary press junket that they did for The Force Awakens, where none of the press got to see the movie beforehand.
Right.
And they were still expected to do a day's worth of interviews with people who couldn't talk about what the movie was about. And Grae managed to get even the notoriously grumpy Harrison Ford to laugh by making him play the game Star Wars or Florida.
Star Wars or Florida. And she'd ask questions like, Hermetic cult leader trains a young teenage protege, Star Wars or Florida, right? That kind of stuff. She also had the rep for being, internally, or not internally, kind of behind the scenes. She has the rep at a junket for being the fixer, in that if somebody's having a bad day, if somebody's grumpy,
they send her Grae.
They will bump Grae up in the order earlier in the day than they expected to have her, and
just to shake them up,
and cheer them up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And also, she can work a room. Like we have done many times at various cons, that Your Opinion Sucks panel, and where film critics are on a panel and people in the audience ask them questions about movies and say, your opinion sucks. And Grae was always the MC of that.
Working the floor.
She can work the room. Like, she's got great improv skills, and she's very in the moment. Like, she has both done her homework, but she's also totally in the moment. And she just stands out with her fantastic hair and her great presence, and she'll be wonderful at whatever she does.
I am very excited for everyone to see what we're going to be able to do this year.
Well, it's a great get for y'all. So
thank you.
Well done.
Yes.
I'm thrilled about that.
Cool. We are also going to do some film reviews at some point.
Sure, why not?
But do your spiel.
Oh, yes. I was going to goes, yes, hi, you're watching on YouTube. Hi. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Like this video. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at BeFastAllDay. And keep an eye out for some news soon about a Patreon page. Bye.
Bye.